a $50 bounty, a prize. If anybody can prove to me that they just will sit and watch it just straight through, like waste 2 hours of their life watching the movie, I'll give you $50. I've never really had anybody step up and do it. They've talked about it and they say they've seen it, but to actually say, no, I'm gonna watch it and I'll put it on tape or something that I'm watching it, and you get $50.
2 hours later.
The Ice Cream Man is a movie. It's a movie that came out in 1995, and it stars Clint Howard, Ron Howard's younger brother. It was one of those movies that you'd see at the VHS store. Like, you'd walk past the creepy cover and you'd be intrigued, but you're also 6 years old and you're terrified, so you don't want to rent it. You'd much rather rent Richie Rich or the Goofy Movie for like the 20th time. Also, you might have caught this movie if you watched Monster Vision on TNT, hosted by Joe Bob Briggs.
Let's do the drive-in totals. We have 7 dead bodies, 1 dead dog, eyeball chewing, waffle iron to the face, head on a cone, heads on ice cream scoops, ice pick through the mouth, kung fu, and the special effects in this thing are surprisingly decent. I give it 3.5 stars.
Now, you might be thinking, hey, 3.5 stars, that's not too bad. How terrible can this movie be? But if you know Joe Bob Briggs, he gives about 3.5 stars to every movie on the goddamn planet, bless his heart. Now, a movie can be so bad that it actually becomes good. This is a pretty well understood phenomenon at this point, and it's become a beloved movie category for so many different people, including myself. Like, movies can be amazing, or they can be good, or they can be mediocre, or they can be bad. But something kind of funny happens at this bad category here. It's almost like you can envision like a little trampoline here, and the worse a movie gets, the bigger the indentation on that trampoline gets. And it can actually bounce back up into one of those higher categories. So like a really, really, really terrible movie can actually bounce all the way back up into that top tier amazing category. I wouldn't say that this movie is amazing. It is worse than bad, so it does get a little bit of bounce on that trampoline, and it kind of projects it all the way back up into the okay category. This movie is so bad that it's okay, it's alright. This movie is pretty entertaining, and honestly, that's all I want out of a movie. I want to be entertained for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and this movie does it. I agree with like the statement that the worst thing a movie can be is boring. This movie is not boring. There are certain parts that drag, but I would rather watch this movie than like Steven Spielberg's Lincoln or like Paul Thomas Anderson's Licorice Pizza. Make a movie called Lincoln Pizza, then we'll talk. Horror movies in particular often fall into the so bad it's good category because it's just so easy to have fun with these types of movies. I mean, you've got the creatures.
She's evil! She did this to me! Help me!
The over-the-top acting.
Planning on stealing something?
No, ma'am, we're not.
Plan on murdering me in my sleep?
What? No.
You know, I saw The Happening in theaters when it came out with my friends, and I was legitimately pissed off at how terrible it was. Fast forward to now, and it's one of my favorite movies to watch of all time because it's just so damn fun. Let's see here. I have over 400 titles on my horror list on IMDb. If we sort by IMDb rating, the #1 highest rated movie is Psycho, followed by The Shining, The Thing, and Rosemary's Baby. All absolute classics, no doubt about it. But what's so crazy to me is those 4 movies are the only 4 movies in this list of over 400 titles that have an 8.0 or higher score. Now, if we scroll all the way to the bottom, yep, just keep going, yep, past Killer Clowns from Outer Space, past Swim Fan, yep, keep going all the way to the bottom. Troll 2. Troll 2 is the absolute lowest rated movie on this list, and this actually proves my point because I dare you not to have a fun time and be entertained by Troll 2. There's a movie about how awesome Troll 2 is. The Resort, The Open House, awful, terrible, truly bad movies, but they're fun.
Why the need for so much gruesome, graphic violence? Why not let us imagine
Because it's so much fun, Jan. Get it?
And if we scroll up just a little bit, we find Ice Cream Man fits snugly between Jennifer Aniston's Leprechaun and Netflix's I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. I thought that movie was alright. It starts out with a flashback scene, and there are many flashback scenes in this movie because, you know, if you can't figure out a way to meaningfully convey a character's backstory throughout their actions in the current story, why don't you just show him the backstory. So then we see some gangsters just start blasting the ice cream man. Now what's interesting to me is that these gunmen are clearly targeting this specific ice cream man. This is no accident. This ice cream man is not in the wrong place at the wrong time. This isn't like accidental crossfire. No, this was deliberate. These gunmen want this ice cream man dead. So as a viewer, you're not really too shocked or sympathetic about this ice cream man being shot down because you know you don't have the full story. What, is this ice cream man also a gangster and this ice cream truck thing is just like a money laundering front? And later you actually do find out that this is drug related. So I'm not saying that this guy should be dead, but he probably should not be on the streets serving ice cream to children. So then we see the future killer ice cream man as a child come and sit down and pluck a popsicle from the dead man's hands, and then the mom rushes over to comfort him without... Shouldn't she remove him from this crime scene? Shouldn't she remove him from the freshly bleeding corpse? The gangsters are probably still out. Why is he next to this corpse that's going to give him lifelong trauma? Why is the mom allowing this? I think there's a missed opportunity here to have the original ice cream man be a really genuine stand-up dude that had like a meaningful friendship with the future ice cream man, so that like you could establish some type of relationship and that's it though. That scene is the scope of their relationship. Fast forward to modern times, and this kid just comes running directly at the camera and just stares at it like he's about to break the fourth wall and go into some Ferris Bueller monologue about how awesome his neighborhood is. But instead, we get this.
Ice cream.
This is also when we first see the demented ice cream man, and he's kind of got like an it thing going on. So I guess seeing the original ice cream man being murdered caused him so much pain that in therapy they decided to kind of try something different and force feed him ice cream and like really confront his pain, so much so that he would later become an ice cream man. And become what he's afraid, like he's like Batman, I guess?
I suggest you don't worry about this sort of thing and just enjoy yourself. That goes for you all, too. Yes.
We then meet another neighborhood kid, Tuna.
I don't need nuts, they give me gas.
Throughout the movie, there's this running joke that he's overweight, but they've clearly just stuffed pillows underneath his shirt. Who thought they wouldn't notice that? By the way, this movie was made for $2 million. And to give you a little bit of reference, Reservoir Dogs and Saw, those movies were both made for under $2 million. So it is possible. Now, I will admit, that is not a large budget for a movie, but you're telling me you can't cast a child actor that looks the way you want them to? Like, what's going on? But actually, they nailed it with the next kid that we meet, Small Paul. Now tell me, who does this kid remind you of? I'll give you a hint. The Page Master came out just 1 year before this movie.
Chases away all the bad and leaves a world of good.
He even sounds like Mac. So anyway, the ice cream man then kills some really legitimately creepy guy at the playground and his neighbor's dog. You know, there's actually a lot of creepy adults in this movie. There's like a full-blown pervert at the playground. Later in the movie, there's this psycho butcher at the grocery store. And it doesn't really make sense to me, because in a movie about a killer ice cream man, wouldn't you want to kind of like showcase the normalcy of the rest of the adult world with the lunacy of this killer ice cream man? Well, wait just a minute, you might say. Perhaps there's something larger afoot, and this is part of a larger scheme, and all the adults in the town are evil because they're all working to... No, it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't come up. There's no reason for these adults to be this creepy. His creepy neighbor is also his landlord and also the nurse that took care of him at the mental hospital when he was a patient. And she's totally wacko too, and like is dismissive of his killings. So what the hell happened to her such that she leaves her job as a nurse at a mental hospital, becomes crazy herself, becomes a landlord, and then actually has her patients that are still crazy as her tenants? I think there's actually a way more interesting story going on with her. She's also really nice to him, and he likes her, so why did he kill her dog? The biggest problem that I have with this movie is that the ice cream man is bonkers from scene one. He doesn't like slowly descend into madness, he's just always insane. And yet at the same time, he's not inexplicable and like some evil entity that's like ominous and ambiguous, like Michael Myers or something. There's like this really, really weak attempt to give him a backstory told entirely through flashbacks.
This movie may set the world record for flashbacks. We've had about 19 flashback sequences in this flick so far.
It's like kind of implied that the nurses at the mental hospital were also insane and made him crazier, drove him to madness, and got him obsessed with the previous ice cream man or something. But it doesn't really make sense. Either give me solid character development or give me some inexplicable evil entity. But you can't have both, and this movie has neither. Anyway, we then see another neighborhood kid at home with his family for dinner.
When I become a cop, there's no more flesh and blood. It's just me and the law. What kind of name is that? Tuna. 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 It's so stupid.
It's mentioned that Tuna is the kid's actual name, not a nickname. What is the point of all this? Then the phone rings, the mom answers, and the dad cannot even stand the thought of being alone with his kids for more than 15 seconds.
Honey, will you save me?
But this is how they learn that some of the neighborhood kids have been going missing recently. Next, we see the ice cream man dreaming about his neighbor nurse feeding him ice cream. He's having this dream while passed out next to gallons of spilled ice cream in his neighbor's backyard. His neighbor walks up to him, but instead of asking what the hell is going on or asking him if he needs help or something, she just reminds him that the rent is due soon. How much is she charging? 5 gallons of Rocky Road ice cream. This lady eats 5 gallons of ice cream every single month. Once the ice cream man gets back up on his feet, he then serves some eyeballs to some cops. Is that what eyeball-eating music sounds like? What is he doing? Why is he not pulling it out and looking at what it is?
We showed Rock and Roll High School, Evil Speak, and had the world premiere on a big movie theater screen of Ice Cream Man, and the crowd loved it. Now, giving away free beer probably didn't hurt.
Okay.
They handed everybody a plastic cup. And they came in and they had an open keg situation, and by the time they showed Ice Cream Man, everybody was just 3 sheets to the wind. And they loved Ice Cream Man.
That should help. Everyone in this movie keeps talking about hard pack ice cream.
3 hard packs and a bump up.
Yeah, and make mine a hard pack.
So how about some of that world-famous hardpack I've been hearing about?
I had to Google it, like what is hard pack ice cream? I'd never heard that term before, and it's pretty much like what you can imagine. Like it's just hard, cold ice cream, like in those big tubes that they have at ice cream parlors, as opposed to like soft serve that has like different fat and air content. But do you know what a kid calls hard pack ice cream whenever they go up to an ice cream truck and ask for some ice cream? Ice cream. They call it ice cream. But I'm pretty sure that the hard pack thing was entirely just a setup for this one joke.
I'd like to buy a gallon of your, hard pack.
The kids then visit the dad in the middle of the day at his office, which given the vibe at the dinner table, doesn't seem like something that they'd do.
Keeping that oven heated up? It's your mom.
Oh, and, by the way, what's Mom cooking in the oven? Come on, Tuna.
Turns out that's his mistress on the phone. So that's the scene where we learn that he has a mistress. The ice cream man eventually grabs Small Paul and forces him into the truck while Tuna watches, and the ice cream man does catch a glimpse of Tuna's sneakers. Remember that, that's important. Tuna tries to tell his parents about what just happened, but they're too busy fighting about the dad's mistress, so he just gives up. Ah crap, my parents are fighting again. Guess now's not the best time to tell them that I just watched my friend get murdered.
Mister, shoes on the porch, you know the rules.
This place has such a strict no shoes in the house policy that shoes are not allowed to be physically inside the house. Where are all the other shoes? Does this rule only apply to this one kid? It's such an obvious forced plot point so that the ice cream man can see the shoes and find out where Tuna lives. The ice cream man then follows Tuna and his mom to the grocery store and starts chasing the kid. Oh my god, he went out of his way to bump and fall into that. I love how it's paper towels too, just like the easiest, like least messy thing possible to have fall down. This kid is literally running for his life in this grocery store and being aggressively pursued by this creepy man, and no one in this grocery store notices. The only person that does anything is a woman that stops the ice cream man to ask for makeup advice. Luckily, Tuna escapes though on this cart. How has no one seen this? Like, how did she not notice all the added, like, I know it's pillows, but...
The old hide in the bottom of the shopping cart trick. The ice cream man can be a little bit blind in some of these scenes.
By the way, you're not gonna take us to court, are you?
Take what to court? Tuna rats out the ice cream man, and then they go raid his parlor, and of course they don't find anything, but they also don't check the ice cream truck, which happens to be where all the dead bodies are, but you know, whatever. Around this part of the movie, there's also a brief scene where we see that one of the kids' mom is possessed by the devil. So you start to think, oh, okay, maybe there's like a devil or a demon or something in this neighborhood, and he's going around like turning people evil, and maybe that's what happened to the ice cream man, and maybe it's part of some bigger ritual, and no, actually, it doesn't come up again for the rest of the movie. What the f is happening in this movie? Okay, so you remember how Psycho was the all-time highest rated horror movie on my IMDb list? That's partly due to the amazing score by Bernard Herrmann, one of the absolute best to ever do it. Now I want you to compare that score to this. It's the squeaks. It's the little squeaks that do it. The ice cream man pulls out Small Paul, who happens to still be alive, and he's not even scared at all. The kids then try to take matters into their own hands and get some evidence on camera. Now I think the dynamic between the kids is actually the best part of the movie. They've got some pretty good chemistry, they're not terrible actors, and the movie does a pretty good job of capturing that 90s feeling of hanging out late with your neighborhood friends. Like they call their little neighborhood pack of friends the Rocketeers, and they go around riding their bikes and like shooting rockets at shit, including oncoming traffic for no reason.
Holy shit, the kid's got a gun!
Why the hell did he just do that? Heather manages to get inside the ice cream truck and take pictures of the crime scene. She then goes to get her photos developed.
4x6 oversize is $14. 3x5 regular.
How soon?
1 hour. $14. 1 day. 12.
What the hell? Why are all the minor characters in this movie so goddamn strange? The ice cream man then gives Tuna's dad a waffle iron to the face and serves up his head on an ice cream cone to his mistress. The older brother then gets pissed off at the kids for using his camera to take pictures of the crime scene because, well, he's got his own dirty photos on there that he doesn't want them to see, and so he goes to the store where they're getting them developed, and you can see the pictures that they're developing from the storefront, like from the window. Can you imagine a shop that develops film and everyone walking by can just see everyone's photos? Does that sound like a good idea? The older brother decides to help the kids after seeing the photos that they took, but like, was there not a better way to write this into the script? Like, just cut out the photo store entirely. Meanwhile, Small Paul continues to have a great time with his kidnapper.
Watch your hand. That blade'll take your hand right off.
Stockholm Syndrome, more like ice cream cone syndrome. The coppers then go to the mental hospital to investigate the nurse and the ice cream man, and they find that it's been just overrun by the patients. And look how slowly they escape here. This goes on forever. Do you think we get the point? Meanwhile, the ice cream man captures Tuna.
Your ice cream.
Your ice cream? Is that a pun? Do we have to put up with this? I mean, I know it's a small line, but I think we can do better than this.
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
Thank you. The coppers end up saving Tuna, but they also get knocked out cold by some ice cream scoops in the process.
Did you notice the scene where the ice cream man jumps off the truck and knocks out both cops with 2 ice cream scoops? I don't think so.
They actually end up surviving though, which is great because we care so much about these characters. Just kill them. Just kill them. The ice cream man did, however, kill a couple other people off screen, and he uses their heads to put on a puppet show. See, this is the overtop craziness that this movie needs. This movie needs to be wackier. This movie doesn't seem to take itself that seriously, so why not just go all out with stuff like this? Small Paul ends up using a poster of the former ice cream man, the guy that got gunned down at the beginning of the movie, to lure the killer away from the kids and into the ice cream mixer, killing him for good. But Small Paul ends up going bonkers anyways, and probably becomes the next ice cream man. Because if you have a traumatic experience with a deranged ice cream man, you'll probably become a deranged ice cream man yourself, even if you've actually already enacted out your revenge. Guys, it's not Nicolas Cage so bad it's good. It's not The Wicker Man.
God damn it!
But if you go into it viewing it like an adult Goosebumps episode, something you can kind of laugh at with some friends, you'll have a good time. Thank you so much for watching. Clint Howard, you owe me $50.
Man, was that movie a mess or what? Half the time I couldn't tell what was going on. I give it 3.5 stars.